All right, so as we know, Raider Nation, the Las Vegas Raiders went and traded for Geno Smith, and this effectively means a demotion for Aidan O'Connell. But Aidan O'Connell is not taking this demotion laying down. In fact, he is going to be fighting back. Today, we're going to be talking about Aidan O'Connell versus Geno Smith. The new QB competition is hot. Now, listen, this competition is certainly nowhere near as close as Aidan O'Connell and Gardner Minshew last year. Aidan O'Connell unfortunately lost his job to Gardner Minshew to start off the season, which Coach Antonio Pierce later admitted the day he was fired that that was a major mistake going with Gardner Minshew. He should have went with Aidan O'Connell. But what is Aidan O'Connell going to be able to do this year when Geno Smith is coming in? He is the veteran quarterback, the 35-year-old, the guy who had a bunch of success in the NFL already. He is proven and he is mobile. What can Aidan O'Connell do? We're going to be going through all of that and more on today's episode of the Raider D Podcast. Now, a lot of y'all have been asking me, where did I get this hat? And I'm going to tell you where I got this hat, because if you try and find this hat online, you're going to have a very difficult time. So all you got to do is comment down below hat, H-A-T, and I will respond to you where exactly you can find this hat. I don't even get anything from it. It's just my service to you, because everybody wants to look like the Raider D. And I understand why, because I'm a handsome fella. Aidan O'Connell is one of those guys who has a ton of potential, but he has yet to prove in his worth. It's kind of like the solar industry just 10 to 15 years ago, where it was kind of, a fluke as to whether or not this was really going to be something. However, with the advent of more technology and putting everything in its proper position to be successful, the solar industry is taking off like firecrackers. And I'm so glad that I have Vtoman sponsoring the channel, because out here in the off-grid desert where we live now, part-time anyway, we still have a place in Salt Lake, but out here a lot working on the property, and we couldn't do it without Vtoman. Vtoman Solar with their Jump 1800, which I have in here in the power shed. And a lot of you have been asking me, how do I have my system set up? Well, it's a little rudimentary right now, but I have the Jump 1800 from Vtoman with their extra battery. And during the day, I get that charging up at 400 watts per hour. Get both of those filled up by the end of the night. And what I'm using right now is my main inverter over here, which I then feed these into that one at nighttime. So that way we have power all throughout the night, and early in the morning, we're still at about 75% capacity. And if all else fails, then I do have a gas generator, but I rarely use this thing because this is more than enough power for everything we're doing. We have electric water heater, we have electric hot pot, we have electric stove, and this is able to store enough energy for us to get through the day. So guys, I highly recommend Vtoman for all of your solar needs. And they have some other really cool gadgets, which we'll be showing you soon on upcoming videos. So make sure you stay tuned for those. One of the things about living out here is there's always something to fix and build. And the Raiders are definitely in that same situation. There's a lot that needs to be fixed and built, and it can be a little harrowing at times, but you got to do what you got to do to get everything working and ready to go. And I think that the Raiders are absolutely doing that. Now, I don't recommend standing this high on a ladder. It's very dangerous, but it's the tallest ladder I got. So you got to do what you got to do. So sources close to the Raiders say that Aidan O'Connell is not taking this demotion laying down. He is working his tail off, and he is going to compete to try and win back his job from the aging Geno Smith. Now, it's pretty obvious, barring an injury, Geno Smith will be the starter of the Las Vegas Raiders for this coming year. But if there were, and God forbid, some type of an injury to Geno Smith, Aidan O'Connell is making sure that his body, his mind, and his arm are all ready to step in at any given time and take over that position. So let's go ahead and take a look at the statistics and the breakdown between Geno Smith and Aidan O'Connell. We're going to start out with Aidan O'Connell's 2023 year. That was his rookie year. That's when we got a real introduction to him, and he had some flashes of brilliance, but he also had some negatives as well. So in 2023, Aidan O'Connell played in 11 games. He had 2,218 yards, averaging 201 yards per game. He had 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and he had a quarterback completion percentage of 62.1, which was pretty low. His passer rating was 83.9, also pretty low, and his yards per attempt were 6.5, which was a lot of that dink and dunk offense that we had from the former regime. Now, in 2024, again, this was just a terrible time for Aidan O'Connell because he loses his job to a less capable quarterback in Gardner Minshew, which was a mistake. Everybody can agree to that. And then he had 2 injuries during the season when he did get his chance. So his numbers here are a little bit skewed, but we're going to go over them anyway. He played in 9 games. Remember, 2 of those games he got injured in, so he didn't play the entire game. He had 1,612 yards, only averaging 179 yards per game. Now, the offense was absolutely abysmal last year. No run game, so I don't hold this completely against Aidan O'Connell. He had 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So again, he's still throwing picks. He's not throwing a lot of touchdowns, but his ratio was better than the year prior, and therefore that is improvement, despite having a terrible offense last year. He had 63.4 completion percentage, which was an increase, and he increased his passer rating from 83.9 to 86.7. So again, another improvement, and his yards per attempt went up slightly, just a tick, to 6.6 yards per attempt. Now, if you contrast that to the veteran Geno Smith and the banner year that he had last year in regards to yardage, Geno Smith is definitely going to blow away Aidan O'Connell in a stats competition, because last year, Geno Smith, who played in all 17 games, had 4,320 yards, which was the 4th most in the NFL. He had 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, so that ratio is a little bit concerning. Actually, it's a lot concerning. And he also had 155 rushing yards. I didn't mention Aidan O'Connell because I think he was like -6 on the season. And he had 1 rushing touchdown, which Aidan O'Connell did not. So he had a 70% completion rating percentage, which is fantastic. And he had a really high passer rating as well. So here's the thing. Geno Smith, veteran guy, 35 years old, mobile quarterback, accurate quarterback, who tends to make some bad decisions and throw interceptions, which can really hurt you. But he still was able to have a winning season last year, and now he is with the Raiders. He's going to be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, and we all know that. Aidan O'Connell, however, he is a younger guy, and, listen, this is only his 3rd year in the NFL. The fact that he's not the starter is not a crush to his confidence, and nor should it be. Aidan O'Connell is still one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL who has starter-level capability and can win you some games. But we have a win now mode with a coach who is like old as the dinosaurs, who doesn't have 3 or 4 years to wait to build up Aidan O'Connell and this team. Needs to win now, and that's why we went and got Geno Smith. So guys, if you like videos like this, please drop a comment down below, show your love, show your support, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next Raiders video.